Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Taylor Talks podcast number 3. We have a special edition on Black History Month, and we have our esteemed guest, Mrs. Young. We call her Mrs. Young, but her name is Lena Young. Mrs. Young, can you introduce yourself?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Lena Young, and I'm the Director of Student Services. Black History Month means a great deal to me. As I plan activities for various months, I feel that Black History Month is a great month because it allows our youth, not even just our youth, the adults here are not that knowledgeable of the history that Black people, men and women, played in making our country great. Let us all remember, a person without the knowledge of their past, history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots.
At the same time, the burden rests upon the leaders of the Afro-American community to try and instill within the youth especially the desire to further their education, because without it, you're not going anywhere on this earth today.
And here we have our admissions coordinator, Mrs. Joyce Walker. How you doing, Mrs. Walker?
Hi, how you doing, Antonio?
So, what do you feel about Black History Month? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I feel like, to be honest, I am Black history. I feel that because of where I came from. Let me introduce myself. I'm all the way from a city called Magnolia, Arkansas, from the South. And I grew up as a girl there, and I attended segregated schools. Segregated schools means that it was only Black schools and white schools. We can't talk about the history without talking about that. Right. So when I was probably 12 years old, 13, we had mandatory integration. So I had to take a bus from my neighborhood to somebody else's neighborhood, and guess what? I still don't know why. So, I'm a little girl, and I used to ask, well, why do I have to go past my house to go to the school? Because I did not understand the politics back then. Okay, wow. So to go from that experience, that was mandatory, that I didn't know it was going to be so historical, but it really was. And it has shaped me to be the person that I am now. So that's why I'm so honored to talk about it, because we had some fantastic people, African-American people, that brought me to the point that I am now. So I really want to talk about that.
Okay, Thank you, Ms. Walker. We appreciate that and appreciate your insight on it. I didn't know that you went through that.
Right, yes. So I don't have to read a book. I went through it myself personally, but it actually helped to shape me. It helps people that went through that time. You're stronger. You have a sense of excellence. Because of where we came, because we were kind of looked upon as second-class citizens at that time, and I have to keep this real. But it allowed us to strive more. I came from Arkansas. I graduated from University of Illinois and with honors. So all of those things helped to shape me, and I've been in the educational business over 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really a fantastic situation for me to grow up under situations like that and look at all these people that have came after us. For example, yes, everybody knows Martin Luther King, but when you go to the music, and I do music sometimes. I'm going to be doing a Black History program on these fantastic musicians that brought us music, African-American people, Louis Armstrong, Aretha Franklin, James Brown. All these people helped to shape me. So I am so honored now that they're still a part of our legacy.
That is amazing. And thank you, Ms. Walker, for allowing us your time and give us some insight on it. I didn't know a lot of those things, actually. And is there anything you would like to say to any youth upcoming that they
Absolutely.
may not know?
You're reading my mind, Antonio. The one word I want to say is pride. Growing up, we were instilled pride. The word pride was instilled in us as young people. So people from my generation, that's what we have. And I want the young people to adopt that, to keep that up, because it makes a statement about who you are, and when you have children, who they'll be. So the sense of pride is something very, very important to African Americans today. And that's one of the reasons why we do celebrate Black history.
Right. Well, thank you again, Mrs. Walker, for your time. And Hope you all have a good day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Back, we have a student here who is studying criminal justice. His name is Kendall Carr. Kendall, nice to meet you. Thank you for interviewing with us.
What's going on, my brother?
What's going on? So I have a question. How do you feel about Black History Month? What are your thoughts on it?
If I'm being honest, I feel like Black History Month isn't really celebrated or talked much about even during the month of celebration, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like, let me give you an example. So, like, when growing up in school, when we hear Black History Month, what's the first thing that our instructors or teachers even be the first thing to tell us?
I'm not sure.
Well, in the time that we are now, the first thing they really bring up be like prehistoric Black leaders like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X and stuff like that or whatever, right? But they don't never really talk about like the real Black leaders, like the real, like the people who should be acknowledged for the month for real, like
What?
in a sense, like, yeah, Martin Luther King, all these people that I just named previously, like, yeah, they did big things, but I'm talking about like the actual Black people who like built the foundation that we standing on right now, if it makes sense. Like the lights on in this room, like the first person who made the light bulb was Black, but the white man took credit for it. I'm sorry, like, I ain't trying to slander no white folks that's watching this, but like, you feel me what I'm saying? Like,
I understand.
and like peanut butter.
Yeah, I actually love it.
Bro, like, I love you like crunchy peanut butter?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the Black man was the person who made crunchy peanut butter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
He gives George Washington Carver.
bro, like, that is amazing. Like, God bless that man right there for making peanut butter. But in the same sense of like that's kind of like the direction I'm kind of like aiming towards when I say, like, I don't feel like the real people who like made real changes in the world like don't get noticed or talked about for real.
Yeah, I understand where you come from.
Yeah. And like, I had another example. A female leader. No, matter of fact. So we all know the story of Ruby Bridges, right?
Right.
So I just want you to think about this for a second. You know this woman's still alive, right?
Ruby Bridges is still alive right now?
Bro, she's not even 70 yet.
I didn't know that, actually. I didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying, G. Like, and a lot of people like fail to realize, like, even in Black history, like, we still like are facing racism, bro. Like, in a sense, like, think about, like I just said, think about the fact that she's still alive. Like, that doesn't, it really takes away our sense of dimension when it comes to how far we have come from segregation, in a sense.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like, that wasn't that long ago, in a sense.
Right.
And the fact that we don't really like, well, a lot of people seem to think that we came so far from it, but it's like, bro, that it hasn't even been a whole decade yet.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's like we making proactive efforts to move away from that, to stem away from that. But in a sense, it's like, why do, in a sense, like, I still feel like we belittled even in our own month, in a sense, like, why do Black History Month gotta be celebrated in February?
This is a good point. I think someone else bring that point up as well.
Bro, like, and then it's like, it's the shortest month. So I feel like the real reason we was given like Black History Month just in general is because of the fact like Black people in general have been cut short from a lot of things.
Yeah.
When it comes to acknowledgement and like just the credit that a lot of Black people, like a lot of Black geniuses and inventors deserve, in a sense. And that's why I feel like when it comes to like Black History Month in general, like I feel like that's like the main reason like we've been granted such a short month, because it's like, yeah, they might show they care, but in a sense, like, it's really just a facade just to please us in a sense.
Yeah, just appease our needs or what we
Yeah.
ask for, basically.
Like, bro, like just to make us feel like we still human in a sense.
Okay, I get that. Understand it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Kendall, for allowing us to interview, giving us your time, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And here we have another one of our students who's studying accounting. Her name is Tiana Booker. Thank you, Mrs. Booker, for interviewing with us.
I appreciate the offer.
No problem. And how do you feel about Black History Month? What are your thoughts on it?
I feel that society doesn't do enough for Black History Month no more because I wasn't even aware that it was Black History Month.
Oh, really? Hey, and anything else you feel about it? Anything else you want to tell us? Tell the youth or anything of that nature?
I would tell the youth to start going to school more and stop paying attention to violence.
Okay, that's good. So thank you for giving us your time and thank you for interviewing with us. We appreciate it.
No problem.
And here we have one of our students at Taylor. She is studying accounting. Her name is Mrs. Grayson. Nice to meet you, Miss Grayson.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for interviewing with us. And how do you feel about Black History Month? What are your thoughts on it?
I feel like Black History Month is not celebrated like it was when I was a kid going to school. I very seldom see the kids today in school with assignments about Black history. And I'm not just focusing on the people from the past, but it's people in the future too. But I think it's not being celebrated enough for our culture. I don't think so.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I understand that. Thank you. Thank you for interviewing with us. Thank you for giving us your time, and I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And here we have one of our students here at Taylor Business Institute who is studying criminal justice. Her name is Jaslyn France. And we're going to ask her a question. Mrs. France, how do you feel about Black History Month?
I love Black History Month. I feel like more power to the people.
Hey,